This is Ace with RockRevolt magazine. I'm here with Scott Wilson, now currently a member of Saving Abel. Scott, how you doing, bud?
Man, I'm fantastic. I'm in Colorado, home for a couple of days on break, and doesn't get much better than that.
Right on. Yeah, no, you're currently, like I said, I said at the open, you're currently now a member of the band Saving Abel. You guys are out touring, playing all over the country right now, and then after you finish this up, you're going to keep going, and you guys are doing the Make America Rock Again tour.
We're doing a few dates on that. The big tour that we love to talk about, because this is, the title says it all. It's called the Redneck Rebellion Tour.
Right on.
This is coming up in September and October, and it's with the band Soil. So we're going to be hanging out with Ryan and Adam and Tim and those guys. And, I know from touring with my former band Tantric that things get a little out of hand with Soil. So Saving Abel and Soil is going to be an interesting combination.
Yeah.
Of good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
They are a little bit different entities. Soil's more of the harder rock. Saving Abel's more of just the straight up rock, more of the mellower style. It's going to be oil and water, but hey, that makes the best show, man. Gets everybody in.
For sure. And we're all, and if anybody knows the band Soil out there, they're all just a good bunch of guys. And we've done some hangouts lately, just when we were playing Chicago area. And, we all gel really well together as friends and buds. So that always winds up translating to the stage and to the fans, and everybody winds up having a great time and a big party.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I know that, the fellows of Saving Abel, Scott Bartlett and all those guys, they can definitely throw some down a party. And, Soil's going to be right there with us. So while the two different stage styles might be different, the backstage antics, I think, are about the same.
I feel like that. Here's the thing, and we could do this. Maybe we can get some promotion out of this. We'll include you in it and just say that it's the Jaeger versus Jack tour.
There you go.
With those guys, and we all have a good time. But I'm really excited because I've toured with Soil for almost continuous year a few years back, and they just dropped their new record, which is a compilation. Their first greatest hits type CD,
right? And
it just came out last week. It's called Scream. So, excited for them to get some music out there. And rumor has it there's a new record in the making for those guys as well as Saving Abel.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. When Soil kind of went their ways and they came back, I know I was pretty excited. I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time.
For sure.
Been a big fan of Saving Abel as well, and then now you've kind of joined forces. The reason why you joined forces, man, everybody knows you're a part of Tantric. You played with them for, 6+ years, I believe?
Yeah.
You came out and you made a statement, last week, kind of just, kind of clearing the air, but yet not kind of clearing the air. You said there were some things that were said, but you kind of left them private.
Sure.
Would you like to expand on any of those comments you made, or is that still just something that's, between keep in house?
Well, here's how I like to look at it. I've caught so much flack from people and, Tantric family, let's just say. Hugo and I, we're brothers. We've been friends. I met the guy in 2000. We've known each other a long time. We've been through a lot of great stuff, been through a lot of really bad stuff together. More or less, there were some issues with me being left standing there having to sing shows where I didn't have a singer,
Right.
And I covered 3 shows. And the big thing I want to say, and people just need to understand this, is if you went to your work every day and, people didn't show up, it makes your work different, makes it hard. And from a business sense, you got to look at things from a business sense. When we're musicians, we're professional musicians, we have a big job. We got to satisfy a lot of people. So I felt like I was letting people down in that way because of, the disappearance of the singer or whatever. So it was tough, but it's a tough decision I had to make, but I made it, and I'm really happy. The Saving Abel guys are amazing, and I've known them forever. I just want people to understand Tantric's going to go on. There's already a new band behind Hugo, and it's always going to be there. We've been through a bunch of member changes through the years, and there's no hard feelings between me and Hugo. We actually talked last week a couple of times, and we're playing a show together at Sunshine Studios Live, which is my home venue here in Colorado Springs, and it's Tantric and Saving Abel, and we're going to have a great time.
That's, the fans, like you said, you've caught some help from the Tantric family and the fans, but just hearing that part right there, that, there's no bad blood. You guys are going to play a show together. They should appreciate that. They should understand that apparently it was time to go, it was time to move on, and it was time to make a change. Because, hell, Tantric was forged out of, almost the same kind of situations with their singer, which, when they were Days of the New. So It's almost like it kind of came full circle, and, both of you are going to do better from it, right?
I feel like it, yeah. And, it's... Hugo is got a super big heart, super nice guy. He's an artist, and people accept him or they don't, and everybody loves the music and everybody loves that guy, to hang out with. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Now, is this something you felt? It's not something that just came on. Like, this wasn't a decision that was made a month ago. It was probably, been months in the making, because you were kind of going out doing kind of a solo thing, supporting Saving Abel on this tour a little bit before you joined with them full forces and were playing with them. So is this something that, it kind of was a while in the making?
Yeah, it was. And, okay, so, the story kind of breaks down about a year ago, February, I was talking to my fiance, Christina, and we were just talking about life, and having a good sit down and figuring out plans for our future and things. And I told her, I said, I'm going to put a timeline on the Tantric thing, and if we haven't moved forward as a business, not just music, everybody needs to understand that the music and the tours are always going to happen, and we're always all going to have a great time together. But, on the business sense, if we're not charting again and we don't have this new record that we have halfway completed out there, maybe it's time to just start thinking about focusing on maybe my producing or, our venue or recording studio a little bit more, and just, see what develops from there. So that being said, we were out on the road with Saving Abel, and Eric, their bass player, approached me and talked to me about, that he's thinking about giving up music. And I said to him, I said, hey, man, Tantric has 2 months coming off. Why don't you take those 2 months off and just let me fill your spot? You're in good hands and everything's going to be okay. And he's like, that sounds great. So he took that time off, and then he came back with the decision that he was going to stick at home. So then I had to make the real choice of, oh, wow, okay, this because I truly expected him to come back and then everything carry on, and then me make my own decision with my band. But, Eric, his words to me when he told me, he's like, you're the guy that I want to fill my spot. You're the only one that I really want for this. He said, because your experience and your, business know-how is going to help a whole lot, because we're all like-minded. And everybody in Saving Abel is a lot like me in that sense. So, coming from my brother Eric, coming to me like that, then a few weeks later, Hugo didn't show up for Brockfest, which was my good friend Michael Alexander's festival. So we had 10,000 people staring at me, and I was super sick and had a sore throat. So the decision made itself at that point. But, that's kind of the timeline of how everything broke down. It did take a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure, decisions like that and things like that do take, a lot of time and a lot to wear on you, because you do want to make it work. You've got so much time and time invested into it, and, blood, sweat, and tears that you want to make it work, man. So, it's got to be something super heavy like that to kind of break it down for you. Now that you are, full on member of Saving Abel, and you've also been, you've proven that you can sing, you can play the guitar, you can play the bass. Is Saving Abel going to be the end all be all for you, or do you see maybe you trying to do a little solo gig?
Well, and people ask me if I ever plan on doing a solo thing often, and I've been writing for a record of my own for a few years, and my focus has been on Tantric and writing for that as well. So someday, let's keep our eye out and see what happens. But yeah, I would say at some point there will definitely be a Scott Wilson record out there.
All right. Right. And like you said, you've got your venue there at home. Hell, doesn't mean you can't just pull some one-offs at home and throw a show, right?
That's true. And, I go regularly and do acoustic shows, not necessarily here in Colorado, but, when we're out on the road and we have a day off or something, and I'll jump out there with an acoustic, and it's 50% comedy and 50% music. So those are always fun,
Right. Right. Hell yeah, you can't beat that. You get out there, play the music. Like I said, have some fun, let the people enjoy what's going on, and I mean, that's what they want. They want to have a good time. They want to laugh. They want to sing along. And if you're providing that, I mean, why the hell not?
Yeah. And music's about, sharing a vibe, and when everybody gets into it, there's no better thing out there. It's magical.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Another thing that you do that's pretty cool is, I followed you. I've followed you on Twitter for a long time. You're always selling picks and things for charity. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit that may not know about what you're doing? Because that's really what you promote a lot on your Twitter is the charities that you work for, the selling your picks, trying to raise money. Why don't you tell the people that may not know about that a little more what you're trying to do?
Sure. Well, a long time ago, I had this idea and this name called Bass Bomb, and it was more or less just going to be a brand of things to umbrella myself under. So, my manager, David, he's got an autistic child. Scotty Austin has an autistic child. And so David takes some of those proceeds, and he does this stuff for me. Of course, I'm involved, but he's the one that came up with the concept to help out the autistic associations. And then also, Scott Bartlett, has had some real trouble with his heart, and he came up with a foundation to help with children who have the same heart condition that he does. And it's called RockRevolt Men's Hearts. And so, we worked together with all of that, and even before I was in the band, we were doing some of that and getting money together for his charity.
Right on. So it just kind of came from there, all went together, and I mean, because you guys do, like I said, I follow you all on Twitter and everything, and have for a long time, and you guys are always working together to promote everybody's, charities and business. And I mean, with that, that you guys have been working together to do that for a long time, did that kind of help the transition into Saving Abel? Because I'm sure it's always hard, even though you are good friends, getting in with a new band might be a little more difficult. Do you think that may have helped?
Well, yeah, I could say that. I've known Bartlett the longest out of this band, and I'll say, so think about this. If you've got your good group of friends, and hanging out together is awesome, and that's fun. But imagine moving in with your good friends into a really tiny bus. There's 13 people or 9, however many you have that run. And then you're also trying to conduct business with each other and make business decisions that will affect you and your family for a long time. So there's a lot of things to swing around there and make it all work. And Bartlett's very, very smart guy, and so is everybody else in this band. So I moved in and just took the giant leap off the cliff, I realized, wow, these people are exactly like me as far as how they think and what our goals are.
Well, that's good, man. You can't beat that. Like you said, especially when you're trapped on that bus with them, it's good to have everyone on the same page, and you're not going to find that hardly ever, and no matter what. And, if you feel you found that, that's probably probably helping with kind of maybe a little bit of the stress and frustration you've dealt for the last so many months, years, that,
Yeah.
it's good for you.
Sure. No, it feels good. And we, Christina and I, my fiance, we're big outdoors people. We love to camp, hunt, fish. We don't hunt. We hunt for animals. We don't shoot them. But anyway, we get out there in the woods and do stuff, whatever it is that we can do. And with Saving Abel, it's awesome because on our days off, a lot of times we'll camp and just pull the bus up at a campground, and we hang out and we cook and have the best time ever. And, it's like having another family, which is great.
Right. Kind of like a working vacation almost.
Those days, we need those decompression days sometimes, so it's awesome, yeah.
Hell yeah, you do. Absolutely, man. Well, Scott, I greatly appreciate your time. If you would, let everybody know how to, your socials, where to follow you at, how to get involved with, your charities to help support. Let them know how to get a hold of what you're doing.
Sure, yeah. If you go to the easiest place to find me is Facebook, which is Scott Wilson Official. And that page has links to all my other pages on Instagram and Snapchat and all the stuff, the store where you can buy items. And I have actually one of my basses on there for sale that, I've recorded with, and I played all last year on the Make America Rock tour. And, some of the proceeds will go to the charities that we talked about. And then also, picks, everything, all kinds of great jewelry. I actually take my bass strings and have them made into jewelry. So there's all that stuff's on there, and you can actually have a piece at the stage.
Nice.
So check it out, everybody, and I really appreciate you having me on here, man. It's been a good time.
Hey, not a problem, sir. And everybody go out and see him on the Make America Rock Again tour, part 2 this year, and then September, October on the Redneck Rebellion tour. Scott, like I said, I greatly appreciate your time, man, and hopefully I'll see you out on the road.
Hey, perfect. Look forward to it. Take care, man.
All right, sir. Thank you.